you know, we continuously bounced back and forth between what we were going to do with the engine, because we do have options. It's not like we're deadlocked into anything. And we had a lot of really kind people also offer to contribute money towards a new motor. And I mean, that's just amazing that people even offered that. But we also don't want to just throw it away, because it is fixable. It is a good motor. And
I've been very tempted to, though.
Yeah, Garrett's been very tempted just to huck this thing.
I'm still not. I still can't say that I won't choose that option. But I'm going to try everything I can to not have to do that.
Yeah, and I'm really thankful that Garrett is willing to be doing a lot of this work to get this motor back, just because to see it have new life again would be incredible. We also really have to gauge, because, you know, we now have this 100 days countdown going, that it's not going to stop us. And yeah, we have to make sure that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot by getting too hung up on the motor, and that slows down the progress of the whole boat, which is not what we want. So I think we've found a solution, and Garrett is very nearly done with all of the parts that he's ordered. There's a few on back order, so it's not everything that you can do right now. But yeah, we'll get to hear the motor purr again today. So that's really exciting. You're coming too. What started as a dream is now our reality. 6 years ago, we poured her ballast, raised every frame, cut every plank, and named her Rediviva. Ready for life back on the ocean, this year we're determined to set sail.
Would you look at that? I'd say that's the making of a fine cruising vessel.
We're Salt and Tar, and this is our life. We're happy to share, and thanks for joining us.
So today I'm hopefully gonna get the butterfly hatch finished up so that we can finally take the big ugly tarp off the top of the boat and look at this beautiful hatch that David made. Sorry David, we haven't gotten around to completing it yet, just because this project is so massive and there's so much to get done. Some things just kind of have to go on the back burner for a bit, but we finally got nice weather and it's not raining every other day, so we can uncover this thing and get back to it. I'm gonna finish installing these copper gutters that are in there. Yeah, you can see them on each side there. They're kind of rabbited up into the top bit of the hatch, and then there's another kind of groove cut into here where a gasket will go. And so when that closes, that lip just clears the copper, and then the gasket will press into the lip of the gutter and create a watertight seal. So now I just gotta pull the gutters off. I had to just do a couple little tweaks to them to make everything kind of run smooth. So take them off, drill some holes, and I'm just gonna use little copper tacks to secure them in place. And then once that's done, then I can start laying some gaskets. Now I'm gonna lay the weather stripping into this groove. I've got this stuff and it just kind of fits perfectly in that little groove cut out for it. Just gonna cut it slightly oversized, then I'll trim it back with a razor blade later. finished masking this hatch up. Just enough time left in the day. Get some goop under it, get the fasteners in, and call it good.
This silicone sealant dries clear, and in a couple days we won't need the big ugly tarp anymore. We still need trim and latches down below, but that's a project for another day.
Okay, so I'm gonna do some more engine work today, so we can hopefully get rid of this in the middle of our interior. Let's hope that I don't find 10 more problems, which has been the case every time so far. I'm gonna replace the water pump. It's working fine, but it's definitely making a grinding sound, like the bearings are about to explode. You can get rebuild kits for these, just like you can get rebuild kits for the raw water pump, which I did buy a rebuild kit and I rebuilt this one. And but with everything else that's been going wrong with the motor, we've just decided that we're gonna replace rather than rebuild whatever needs attention. The rebuild kit, I think, comes with new bearings, new seals, but it's still the original housing, which is probably fine, but it's the original shaft, which, you know, could be scored or worn down or whatever. And, you know, the difference of the rebuild plus the versus the just the brand new pump, it's like $100, and peace of mind. So, and it's a lot less work, a lot less of my time, which is also really nice.
We've been rebuilding our engine piece by piece. First out of necessity, then preventatively, and now it's a little bit of both. It's taken more of our time than expected, so anywhere we can save time and have a better product is a win. We received the fresh water replacement pump, but unfortunately it arrived damaged.
So our new water pump came in the mail, but unfortunately this must have been dropped because the gasket is broken in half and the pump won't really spin. You can tell the impeller is like wedged up against the housing there, so it must have gotten dropped pretty hard. But worst things have happened. They're gonna send us a new one.
We boxed up the broken one, and they shipped us a replacement as soon as they could. The heat exchanger has also been off waiting for parts, so there's no coolant in the engine.
So while I have that drained, I'm gonna go ahead and replace the thermostat. New gasket. I'm gonna replace all the hoses in the freshwater system. Ruth and I are set on leaving in April. I would like to have this, after doing all the work, I'd like to have the engine up and running again. I'd like to be doing trips up and down the bay, or not the bay, trips up and down the river on a regular basis, so we can start really using all of our gear and our equipment, run the motor, be, you know, using the windlass, be using the anchor on the rollers, and just basically trialing all of our systems in the river, which means we want this motor up and running as soon as possible so we can just be doing that all the time. Now the weather's getting super nice too, so I procrastinated long enough. I'm gonna start taking things apart. It's not terrible. It would probably run the way it is for a good amount of time still, but it would definitely need some attention, at least new bearings pretty soon, probably, I would guess within the year. I mean, if we were full-time cruising and using it all the time, probably within a year I would need to at least put new bearings in it, so probably new seals. So figure might as well do it now. There she goes. Ugh. That's pretty. Who knows when the last time these things were taken apart. Ah, of course. Right down into the bilge water. Or not the bilge water, the coolant oil diesel mixture. Ooh. Look at that. Although so far I'm pretty damn happy with how easy everything's coming off. Hopefully I didn't speak too soon and this pump will come off nice and easy. Alright, got movement. Not really sure what would be holding it on right now. Had to say it. Everything's coming off easily. Okay. I think I finally made progress. I think it might just be this piece right here. And I think it's just like welded itself to the engine block because this probably hasn't been removed in 40 years. And it's stuck on there strong enough that I can't pull it off, but after some scraping, probing, whatnot, I found what looked to be a tiny little seam. And so I cleaned it up a little bit more, managed to get just like a really small little screwdriver into that seam, and now it's moving and it looks like it might be opening up. I'm going really, really slow. Aha! I just saw the whole pump shift. Yep, that seam's separated across the entire thing now. So yep, that's crazy. That thing had enough. It was on there so solid that it held the entire freaking pump on there. Yeah! All right. I've got it. Well, and this will still be a functional spare. Got this surface totally cleaned up, ready for the new pump, but before I do that, I have to replace these old hoses. I just need to cut down to the correct size for this one, but for this one it's just simple. Comes right out of the back. Don't break the gasket, Garrett. I don't know if it really makes a difference, but I'm just putting a little coolant water around where that gasket is so it's not going on completely dry. You better stop having problems soon, or I'm going to put something else in your place.
Welcome to the warmest day of the year. So it's my souping day. And before I can get to the souping, I have to do the cleaning part. And the decks have been crowded with stuff and hasn't really been thoroughly cleaned probably since like November. So it's time to shake the winter cobwebs and do a little spring cleaning, at least on deck. Garrett is going to be working on the engine down below, and it's very messy in there. So I'm not even looking. Not even gonna look at that.
Back to working on the engine. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's nice and warm, but engine's top priority, so I'm down here. But at least I got the nice butterfly hatch. Giving me some sunshine. That feels a lot better. Ruth is up working on deck. She's gonna do a big clean and a big soup day. So, but I wanna get this thing going again, and hopefully, if nothing keeps going wrong, which would be out of the norm at this point, but hopefully if things go as I hope they will, I'll be able to fire the motor up again today, and we haven't been able to run it for a long time, so pretty stoked about that. Because of how long the delay would be with ordering this fuel return, again, because this is a pretty low pressure piece, tried something out and we'll see if it works. It's a patch and it'll get us through, hopefully, until the next one is here. But what I ended up doing is I soaked this thing in degreaser, then kind of took it out, rinsed it, degreased it, rinsed it, thoroughly dried it, just to make sure it was totally clean. I just put a crap ton of this gasket maker, the oil gasket maker. Dried pretty good and still flexible. By no means do I plan for this to be a permanent fix. Gonna put everything back together today.
So one of these nice
Hopefully.
days we could actually take the boat out.
Yeah.
If we get the engine back on. And so that for sure is why it's worth doing, seeing if that will at least get us through the 4 to 6 weeks.
Yep. And if it doesn't, and if it starts to weep again, then screw it, the motor still runs. We'll just run it leaky until the new one gets here.
Oh wow, you even taped it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No, that looks awesome. The other ones, there's like not even a crack in the paint.
The other ones are nice and solid.
Yeah. Awesome. I got high hopes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Have fun.
I am already having fun. She's all sparkly clean. And her port side I did first. So it's only wet in a handful of spots down there. So I'll just dry that off with the rag. And then probably start at the bow because that's where it looks to be drying the quickest. And my main goal is the rub rail. So I know I can get that done for sure. And then I think I'll go ahead and do that outside of the bulwarks maybe on this side. Yeah. The inside of the port bulwarks is what gets the most sun, but the outside's definitely ready too. And then I think I did the outside of the starboard side not too long ago. Also get the second coat on our panels.
Next on the list, I'm going to remove the old thermostat and replace it with a new one, new gasket, and then a new piece of hose. Not too bad. That's really not too bad in there. Pretty clean. That looks like a winner. Brand new shiny thermostat. Make a new one of these. Thermostat done. And just gonna keep moving down the list. Got a few really simple things too, like just gonna replace this cap. I guess we'll move on to the heat exchanger. Nice and clean. Zinc going in. New O-ring, new gasket. side done. Heat exchanger's about ready to go back on.
Heck yeah. Shipping away. I feel like you went into it with a really good attitude today because you haven't done anything that else is broken. I think the engine's finally starting to cooperate.
It's because I've been threatening it. I've been starting to threaten to replace it.
I'll find a newer model.
I will turn you in for a newer model.
She's going to be younger and prettier too.
I got more antifreeze, so I'm finished filling this up. Okay, I think I'm done with everything on the list besides putting the injectors back together. We'll see how this works. I just put a little bit of gas and oil thread sealer on there because I know this is really gonna suck to make this connection. And if I do all that and it leaks because I didn't put that on there, I'm gonna be real pissed, so.
I'll take that as you'd like me to film.
Top off the oil. Start filling up the coolant.
Top off the captain's coolant.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Cheers.
So I'll be obviously watching all of the injectors for leaks. I'll be watching this for leaks. And then the whole freshwater cooling system because I tore that all apart. And I'll be looking and listening to the new water pump, making sure the new water pump sounds and looks good, checking all the points that I touched and replaced all the hoses, replaced the thermostat, so I'll be looking at that. Pulled apart and totally cleaned, inspected and totally cleaned out the heat exchanger, all the passages and everything, replaced all the gaskets and O-rings on the end cap, replaced the zinc, replaced all the hoses. So yeah, make sure all that's looking proper.
Did you put this like rubber?
Yeah, so
Nice.
I was talking to the camera about how we were having problems with these hose clamps continuously breaking, and this is, I mean, even on the owner's manual that I found, it just uses hose clamps here. And I tried to find bigger, more substantial hose clamps, but everything I found that was a lot more burly, they were too big to fit through the holes.
Oh.
So my thought was that they were snapping because there's so much vibration. It was work hardening the steel because it was just metal on metal.
Yeah,
So,
a couple people suggested that in the comments too,
Oh, really?
was if you could put a little, yeah,
so
rubber underneath
I
it.
decided, since I had all this leftover hose, I just cut it in half and made these little rubber pads. So I think it should absorb the vibration a lot better.
Well, and that looks nice and snug.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's really nice
Yeah.
on there.
Garrett is very nearly done with all of the parts that he's ordered. There's a few on back order, so it's not everything that you can do right now. But yeah, we'll get to hear the motor purr again today. So that's really exciting.
Unless I broke something.
Unless you broke something.
Okay, I'm going to turn the key on and fire up the lift pump, which is going to pressurize the fuel system. And then I'm going to bleed fuel to the motor. Okay, the lift pump is on. fuel there. I think the moment of truth is here. Kind of scared. But I think it's time to start the motor.
I managed to get more soup on the boat than on myself. So it's been a good day. But Garrett is about ready to crank on the motor, so I'm gonna go down below and be his eyes on the engine. I think it's gonna be good. Just a little soup on myself.
Okay.
Just a little soup on myself.
Okay. So just kind of look in this general area.
Okay.
If you see anything gushing,
All right.
yell at me. Right?
Yeah. Everything looks normal so far. That's just shiny.
Okay. I'll light the glow plugs up then.
Okay. There's one. Or wait. No, false alarm. It was dust moving. I thought I saw something, but it was just dust falling off there.
And I didn't tighten these too much.
That looks like just a drop.
Yeah. Water pump is silent.
Yeah. Oh, the motor sounds great. Sounds awesome.
I don't see any leaking from the injector that caused all of this. I didn't clean it before I ran it. I kind of skipped that stage.
Usually you skip the cleaning stage. Might be a little early to celebrate, but we have our engine back. We're mobile. Yoo-hoo!
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Don't see any leaks. It's idling great. The that awful noise from the water pump is gone. Well, all in all, I think I would say success. Everything seems good. Running smooth, idling great. Fingers crossed. Alright, I'm gonna shut it down and we're gonna call it a night. Cheers.
Thanks for watching. Up next.
I think we have another problem. The transmission is doing something really weird.
There's a long hesitation in the transmission when putting it in forward. Thankfully, we can fix it, and with the help of 2 of our awesome followers, we have the confidence and the means to do it. Maybe we shouldn't have been so threatening.
It's okay. We love you again. We won't trade you out for another model. Okay, I'm filming now, so you gotta shut up.
Whatever. I think somebody pooped in our thermostat.
I don't know, Garrett. I'm really anxious.
We should probably put our life jackets on before we try to start it.